HS so that we know there are a lot of middle schools and high schoolers joining from different schools. So if you are with your middle school or your high school, please make sure to do MS or HS. Hi, everyone, again for joining. We're so excited to have you. There's still some schools that need to rename their box to their school name. And just remember that if you're a middle school or a high school, to make sure it says MS and HS so that we can get you into the right breakout room with your legislators. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We are going to start promptly at 11. If you have not yet already, please make sure that you change the name in your box to your school name or your community group name. And we have a lot of high schoolers and middle schools joining, so please make sure that it says middle school MS or high school HS so we get you into the right rooms. Thank you all so much. Hi, everyone. Again, we are going to start right at 11. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you haven't changed your name in your Zoom, please make sure to put your name of your school. And if you're with a middle school or a high school of that school, please make sure it says MS or HS. We have so many of our schools joining us. We want to make sure that we get you into the right place. Thank you. Hi, everyone. We are going to start in 2 minutes. If you haven't changed the name on your school, on your Zoom, please make sure you change your name to your school so that we can see who you are and get you to the right places. Please make sure that you change the name, and we will be starting very soon. Thank you all so much for joining. We're going to be starting promptly at 11 o'clock. So we will get started very soon.
Are you here to make your voice heard?
Grow to be our next generation of leaders.
I came here today to lobby to get funding for our schools for STEM programs and security programs.
Today we made our case to representatives. We told them about the burdens of paying for your Shiva tuition, and I think they heard us.
We want STEM. We want safety. We want to be protected. We want to make sure that the legislature hears our roar.
Because you're in this room, you're now responsible for making sure that your friends and other people who are not here today get back into this room next year.
We want more security funding and we want more STEM program funding.
But there are students sitting in their classroom right now in Brooklyn, Rochester, Riverdale, Muncie, New City, Westchester, the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side, in Albany, in the 5 towns, in West Hempstead, in Great Neck, in Far Rockaway, in Queens. That's powerful.
Never stop investing in our young people's minds, because that's an investment in the future that'll reap benefits not just for you, but for our economy.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the 2022 Virtual Mission to Albany. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Vice President of the Orthodox Union, Rabbi Moshe Hauer.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a genuine privilege to welcome such an amazing group of people, an amazing, amazing group of hundreds and hundreds of students, of Jewish students, students of Jewish day schools from all across New York State, here to join with our legislators here virtually in Albany, and God willing next year in person in Jerusalem and in the Albany consulate in Jerusalem together, as we advocate and continue to advocate for what we will always call one of the greatest stories of the American Jewish community. The American Jewish community, the story that each of you, each of the students that's here today represents, is the incredible commitment of individuals, of families, and of communities to educate yourselves, to achieve an education in a framework of Torah and in a Torah values environment. Yes, there's an enormous commitment made by each and every family to send their children, to send their students, to send you to private school. There's a commitment that you have made to undertake a dual curriculum, knowing that there are things that you need to accomplish as part of your life. You need to be living and breathing in a framework of the Jewish values of the Torah environment that each of your schools represent, because your faith and your belonging to your community of faith is critical to your life and to your future. And you're also committed strongly to your education so that you can be strong, contributing members to the communities in which you live, to the city and state in which you live. And your story, what is already developing, the graduates of the schools that you attend, that you are following, and what you yourself are representing today, this morning, by being here. These are your first steps of joining communal involvement, communal advocacy. You are here today sharing your story, sharing your contribution to New York State, and sharing what we need, the partnership which we need, which you and your families need from New York State to continue to write this incredible story, the story of Jewish education, of private Jewish education, adding to the community around us, an incredible community of values, an incredible community of contributing, strong, and upstanding members of our state, of our community at large. We are grateful, and we should never tire. And in every one of your meetings today, you're going to say and you're going to express from the heart gratitude to our legislators who are here listening to us today and are here every day working to make New York State a stronger, better place, a safer place, a place where education is valued, a place where values are built. And you're here to be part of that process. We thank each and every school, each and every parent, each and every family member, each and every legislator for being part of today's effort to move forward the education of our community and the strength of our state. And I, on behalf of the Orthodox Union, want to express appreciation to the entire Teach NYS team for their outstanding work day after day in raising the bar of education and Jewish education and in bringing all of you together for this very inspiring event. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Hauer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Teach NYS Executive Director, Maury Litwack.
Thank you, Rabbi Hauer. My name is Maury Litwack, and I'm a yeshiva parent here to make their voice heard. Are you here to make your voice heard? I want to see those clapping. I want to hear that you. It's virtual, but we can still hear you. Yeah. In Albany, but let's hear that voices. Let's see what we got. Make some noise. Make some noise. You're here to advocate. Let's hear you. There you go. You want to break the Zoom? Let's break the Zoom.
No, thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. Today, you will hear from some of the most important people legislating and helping to run one of the largest states in America. Now, did you know that the New York budget proposed this year is so large that it's over $217 billion? That number exceeds that of over 201 world nations. Each of the people you are speaking to today are helping to decide where hundreds of billions of dollars are going. They are very, very important people. No. Why are they speaking to you? Why do they want to hear from you, from the students, from the advocates? Because you showed up. And guess what? Not everybody shows up. Did you know that 1/3 of Americans can't name their governor? They don't know who their governor is. And 80% can't name their state legislator. Most people don't show up to make their voice heard in Albany. Most don't show up to make their voices heard in America. That's not the case for the Teach NYS mission to Albany. That's not the case today. The Teach NYS mission to Albany brings together the largest annual gathering of yeshivas and Jewish day schools to talk to their elected officials about critical issues that impact our schools. Teach NYS mission attendees know who their governor is and have learned about their state legislators. They know who they are and they know how they stand on our issues. The Teach NYS mission attendees are unique because you showed up, and those who show up are heard by our elected officials. But you know why else these important elected officials are meeting with you? Because you didn't just show up, you did so together with over 1,000 yeshiva and Jewish day school students and advocates across the state. You are sitting in your classroom with your classmates, and you may think, it's just your class here today, it's just your friends. But there are students sitting in classrooms right now in Brooklyn, students sitting in Rochester, in Riverdale, in Muncie, in Westchester, students sitting in the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side, in Albany, in the 5 towns, in West Hempstead, in Great Neck, in Far Rockaway, and Queens. Unity is powerful. Again, unity is powerful, and you, each of you, are representing such a large voice of not just the students in the mission today, but throughout the entire state of New York. You are representing over 400,000 non-public school students in the state, which include over 170,000 yeshiva and day school students. Showing up is powerful. Uniting is powerful. And those things are why you have an opportunity today to engage with these important elected officials. That's why they want to hear from you. But guess what? You have an opportunity to not just hold a meeting, but hold a transformational meeting, a meeting that these elected officials will remember and that will make a powerful impact on their decision-making. Imagine if today you don't just speak, but you speak with passion. Imagine if today you don't just ask for legislation to pass, but you truly explain what it means to you, what it means to your family. Imagine if today you raise your voice so they never forget you and what you care about. So I'm here to welcome you. And I'm here to ask, are you ready to raise your voice, teach your ass mission to Albany? Now, usually, I can hear you clap back when I say your school, as you stand together in an auditorium in Albany.
Okay.
But I think if you're loud enough,
Wow.
I'll be able to hear you. Albany will be able to hear you. I think if we're loud enough. So now is my favorite part of the mission. We're going to welcome each of our schools here to Albany. So let's do this and let's hear from our schools. So first and foremost, is Ashar ready to make their voice heard? Is Barakah Yeshiva in Brooklyn ready to make their voice heard? Is Beit Shraga Hebrew Academy of the Capital District in Albany ready to make their voice heard?
DRS and HAS.
Is Benos Malka Academy ready to make their voice heard?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is Brandeis School ready to make the voice heard? I can hear them from Long Island. Is Central Yeshiva University High School Girls Division ready to make the voice heard? Is Derek HaTorah of Rochester ready to make their voice heard?
Louder than anybody.
Yeah.
Is DRS ready to make their voice heard? Go DRS, let's hear you. I see them. Nice work, DRS. Albany can hear you. Is Ezra Academy ready to make their voice heard? Okay, thank you, Ezra. Is Hafter ready to make their voice heard? Let's hear it, Hafter. Is Halb ready to make their voice heard? Halb. I see a lot of people from Halb here. Is Heber Academy in Nassau County Hank ready to make their voice heard? Thank you, Hank. Thank you, Hank. We can hear you. Is Ivdu ready to make their voice heard? Thank you, Ivdu. I can see you. I appreciate it. Is Magen David Yeshiva Middle School ready to make their voice heard? Oh, it's not loud enough. We got to make your voice heard. Is Magen David Yeshiva? There you go, Magen David. Thank you. Is Manhattan Day School MDS ready to make their voice heard? Thank you, MDS. Is Mill Basin Yeshiva Academy ready to make their voice heard? There you go, Mill Basin. I see you. Let's hear it. Is MTA ready to make their voice heard? Thank you. Is North Shore Middle School ready to make their voice heard? Fantastic. North Shore High School also. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Make your voice heard so they can hear you in Albany. Is Park East Day School ready to make your voice heard? There you go. I see Park East. Look at them. They're going crazy. See, that's the energy we need. There you go, Park East. Amazing. Is Ramaz? Ramaz, I see you. Let's go. Let's make your voice heard. Thank you, Ramaz.
Yeah.
Thank you, SAR.
Say yeah.
SAR right there. Is SAR High School ready to make the voice heard? SAR High School. Thank you, SAR. I see you, SAR. Is Shari Torah ready to make their voice heard?
Make your voices heard.
Shari Torah.
Oh, no, it's not.
It doesn't matter. You can make your voice heard twice. Is Shalamath High School for Girls Long Island ready to make their voice heard?
There.
Silverstein Hebrew Academy. Are you ready to make your voice heard, Silverstein Hebrew Academy?
Rabbi, come on, please.
There you go, Silverstein. I see you. Thank you, Silverstein. Is SKA ready to make your voice heard? SKA, I see you. Let's go. Make your voice heard in Albany. Is the Solomon Schechter School Manhattan ready to make your voice heard?
Is anybody on here? I don't hear anybody. Be on the call?
Assemblywoman Stacey Pepper Amato wants to hear you. A legislator wants to hear you. She wants to see you. Let's hear it.
I don't hear you.
I don't hear you. We got to hear. We got to raise the roof. All right. Is Tag ready to make their voice heard? Tag. Thank you, Tag. Is the LaFell School ready to make their voice heard? The LaFell School. Thank you, LaFell. I see you. Thank you. Is Westchester Day School ready to make their voice heard?
Mute. Start video.
Thank you, Westchester Day School. Is Westchester Hebrew High School ready to make their voice heard? I see you, Westchester High School. Let's make it some noise. Is Westchester Tour Academy ready to make their voice heard? WTA, Westchester Tour Academy. Thank you, Westchester Tour Academy. We're in the W's now. Is Yeshiva Darkei Torah ready to make the voice heard?
Get the volume coming in.
Thank you, Yeshiva Darkei Torah. Thank you, Darkei. Is Yeshiva Hart Torah ready to make the voice heard? Hart Torah. Thank you, Artura. Is Yeshiva Town Long Island ready to make the voice heard? Fantastic. Thank you, Yeshiva Town Long Island. Is Yeshiva Town of Manhattan on there? I see Yeshiva Town of Manhattan also. Thank you, Yeshiva Town of Manhattan. Is Yeshiva Central Queens, YCQ, ready to make the voice heard? I'm almost lost my voice. YCQ, you ready to make your voice heard? Is Yeshiva Far Rockaway ready to make the voice heard? Yeshiva Far Rockaway. Is Yeshiva Flatbush ready to make the voice heard? I see Yeshiva Flatbush.
Oh, sorry.
Where are you, Yeshiva Flatbush Middle School? All right, we hear you. Thank you. And Yeshiva Flatbush High School. Let's see what's right there. Thank you, Yeshiva Flatbush High School.
Yes.
Is YDE there? We have YDE. Thank you, YDE. That is our list of schools who are ready to make their voices heard. And I know that if we keep up that energy, we keep up that passion, that legislators are going to hear you when they're talking amongst each other, when they're deciding important legislation in Albany. The impact you're going to make today is going to resonate if you continue to raise your voice and recognize that you are uniquely showing up today. So good luck today. Please, please follow up with your legislator. Follow up with your friends and family and ask them, did you make your voice heard today? Because we need your voice. Albany needs your voice. And together we can accomplish amazing things together. Thank you all. We appreciate your voice. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Gianaris.
Oh, wait a second, Senator. I'm going to do an introduction for you. I missed my cue. Where is Senator Gianaris? Let me see if I can find him. On here.
I'm here, Maury.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, all right, I want to make an introduction to Senator Gianaris. I apologize for missing my cue. It is my great privilege and honor to introduce Deputy Majority Leader Senator Michael Gianaris. A child of immigrants. Thank you. Let's welcome him properly. A child of immigrants, Senator Gianaris was born and raised in Astoria, Queens, where he continues to reside. He is a product of New York City public schools and graduated from Fordham University and Harvard Law School before embarking upon a career in public service. As a member of the leadership of the largest Democratic Senate majority in over a century, Senator Gianaris has been a champion for all New Yorkers and for education throughout his time in the state legislature. Senator Gianaris has consistently fought for resources for every child in New York State. Senator Gianaris has consistently fought for STEM education for all and for resources for the health and safety of every child. You are very, very privileged today to hear first from Senator Gianaris. He has toured our schools. He's seen firsthand the impact of STEM education in the classroom up and down the state and what it does in preparing students for the careers of tomorrow and spurring a lifelong love for science, math, and technology. That's right. If you enjoy those subjects in your classroom and how amazing they've been with the STEM funding from the state, it's thanks to our leader like Senator Gianaris. He's seen firsthand the impact that security funding has in protecting our kids. If you see guards in front of your school, if you see cameras and other things like that, it's because Senator Gianaris led on those issues. He's spoken passionately at our past missions about the need to invest in every single New York child. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a fighter for all kids. That's a leader. Senator Gianaris, over 1,000 students and lay leaders are watching this live feed, and I know they are welcoming you with the same passion that you fight for our kids in Albany. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a big welcome to your first speaker, Deputy Majority Leader Senator Gianaris.
Maury, I gotta hand it to you. It is hard to generate enthusiasm by Zoom, but you've managed to do it somehow with all these kids. It's great to see so many of them. Of course, we miss you in person. I love coming to the auditorium and speaking to the group when you're all here with us. So hopefully by next year we'll feel more comfortable doing that. But for today, this is an incredibly important job you folks are doing. I'm really proud of what the Senate has done to help your schools. Maury was talking to me going back 3-4 years when we first took the majority about the importance of the STEM school funding, and we have managed to increase it every single year with the help of Senator Shelly, who chairs our education committee. I think she's on this Zoom as well. We have taken great pride in making sure that all the kids in our state get the support they need to succeed. And what you're doing today is so important to continue that mission and continue moving forward and progressing. And so I think I have a meeting in less than an hour with the group that's coming to see me. I see Cal Nathan on here. I think he's part of the group that'll be meeting with me in a little bit. So it's good to see him again. But mostly I just wanted to congratulate you on an incredible job with Teach NYS. It is a very powerful organizing tool that you've used. Thousands of kids, thousands of parents telling us all how important it is that we continue to support your schools. And like I said, we are proud that the Senate has played a great leadership role in getting the state to where it needs to be on that front. So a lot more work ahead, but we've done some great things in the recent past, and hopefully some great things to come in the future. So kids, stay safe. And next year, I want to see you up here in person. Let's fill that auditorium again.
Thanks, Mike. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Senator Gianaris. Really appreciate all of what you've done for the state, for the kids of New York, for our mission. I think it's the third or fourth mission that you've been on. So we really appreciate your time. So I have back-to-back introductions I'm making. I get to make the next introduction as well, which I've been making, I think, for many years now, because she always comes to our missions and she's spoken at our dinners and events, and we're very, I'm thrilled to call her a friend, and she's someone who's a constant on our work here, just because she's a constant for the state of New York when it comes to education. So it's my great privilege and honor to introduce our next speaker as well, Senator Shelly Mayer. Now, Shelly has spent her career, Senator Mayer has spent her career as an advocate for New Yorkers, and especially for children and families. Senator Mayer was elected in the New York State Senate to represent the 37th District in an April 2018 special election, and she was subsequently reelected multiple times. Prior to her time in the state Senate, she served in the state assembly for 6 years, where, yes, when we spoke to her in the state assembly, she was a champion for all New York kids as well there. She's been doing this. This is not new to her. Shelly's been a champion for children and education throughout her time in the state legislature. From 2013 to 2017, Senator Mayer served as the chair of the Assembly Education Subcommittee on Students with Special Needs. And she was appointed by the Senate Majority Leader in 2019 to serve as the chair of the State Senate Education Committee. She works with her colleagues to deliver resources and policies school districts throughout the state need to provide a quality education for every child, regardless of zip code. One more time, to provide a quality education for every single child, regardless of zip code. Along with being a lifelong Westchester resident, Senator Mayer is Jewish and a proud member of two synagogues in the White Plains and Yonkers communities. She was on the board of the Jewish Council of Yonkers for many years and served on the Westchester Community Advisory Committee on the Anti-Defamation League. Senator Mayer received a JD from SUNY Buffalo School in 1979 and a BA from UCLA in 1975. She lives in Yonkers with her husband of 40 plus years, Lee Smith, who I've met, and has 3 adult children, and I think I'm still right, 3 grandchildren. I just want to say that is my official biography that I'm giving for Senator Mayer. That's the official piece, which I could keep going because I'm a big fan. But on the personal note, I will tell you that this is the type of legislator that I've worked I worked in Congress as a congressional staffer. I've worked for state and local government, and I've been privileged to advocate at over a dozen capitals. The reason why you're privileged to hear from a legislator like Senator Mayer, the chairwoman of the Education Committee, is because she is direct and honest with you. She will say to me, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, Maury. And because of that direct and honesty, she's open to hearing ideas, she's open to hearing what our community is, and she was a pivotal, instrumental person in helping to create the STEM education bills, which help to really set us up for the future and our kids for the future. And she's been instrumental throughout the pandemic in making sure that our children and our schools were properly funded and helped throughout. She's the person who did not sleep during the pandemic. She's the person who went to bat for her schools and district. And she's the person who called me up and said, what else can we do? What else should we be doing? And so it is with great privilege and great honor for me to once again introduce Senator Shelly Mayer.
Thank you, Maury. Wow, I can't compete with the energy you have put in here. And to all my Westchester schools that are here, I saw so many. I hear you here in Albany. I wish you were up here. I'm right in the legislative office building. Just transform yourself up here because I want to hear your voices. As Maury said, you know, there are only 130 participants. That's just not true. There are 1,000 participants here today. And that's because of Teach NYS, you are making your voices heard. And you know what your voice does? It makes a difference in what we decide to do. Maury was very generous, but you heard one of my leaders, Mike Gianaris, so committed to this. Our majority leader, Andre Stewart-Cousins. We want to make your school fantastic in every way and give you every opportunity. And I'm glad that we have the STEM program. We're going to expand the STEM program. You got to make sure your voice is heard. If you have that STEM program in your school, when you're speaking to your legislator today, make sure they know what it means to you. Whatever grade you're in, I want to know exactly what it means to you. And if you got some swag or something extra for participating in the STEM program, let us know that too, because it's the enthusiasm of what we do that translates into our fight for money and resources for your schools. So I'm thrilled to be part of this one more year. I look forward to you being here next year. We got more work to do. We have more things that you need, that we need to know and begin to work on. But this year, make sure your voice is heard. Some of you were loud and some of you were not so loud. Use your own voice to make sure your voice is heard. And I particularly want to say to the girls on this call, make sure your voice is not silenced or made a little more quiet. Make your voice loud, make your voice strong. Tell us what you need, girls and boys, regardless of where your school is. Anything that you need to say, today is your day to say it to an elected official like me, Senator Gianaris. I know my colleague, Stacey Pfeffer Amato is here, many of the champions for these schools. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your voice. Thank you, Maury, for your leadership. And we're going to continue to fight for every kid, as you said, Maury, regardless of zip code, regardless of what school they go to. That's our job. So it's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for the energy you conveyed today.
If we don't get funding, we don't do it. Everything was becoming more automated, more digital, and we weren't teaching our kids those skills. And so we decided a long time ago that that was going to be something that was key and important, not just for our students, but for Jewish education in general.
The funding really does allow us to do incredible things. I mean, not only with regard to some of the tech, but also, I mean, the people in this building are what makes it great. And so it definitely helps tremendously to give us the opportunity to have parity with regard to our STEM funding, and not having it, we would certainly feel that as well.
Funding has been a big issue, and I think definitely over the last 5-10 years, between the different advocates that have been helping in Albany, we've seen, I mean, the mandated, we've seen all the different programs. The STEM has been a new thing that you guys did, and that was like unbelievable.
I am the science teacher here in the middle school. I teach 6th and 7th grade science, and what we really try to do here is to foster a love of science and curiosity, all by doing that in a hands-on setting.
So we use these sprockets to add more torque, making it go faster, because getting from one side of the arena can definitely give us an advantage. Right now it can just move. We'll add more of the accessories on later.
That's awesome, and you're controlling it. That's amazing.
Right here.
You built this from scratch?
Yes.
You had the parts and you created this?
Yes.
STEAM education is really important to us, but every other area of school, right, we'd have to choose where we're diminishing resources from. And by being able to get this 5 to 7% of our budget through city and state and federal funding, we're able to ensure that every aspect of our program is enriched. There are about 450,000 students in independent schools in New York State. 150,000 of them are in yeshiva day schools and Jewish day schools, where for much of our community, independent school education is not a luxury, but a necessity. And it is the primary cost for many families, and the ability to keep tuition at a reasonable place by accessing state and federal resources is really essential for the overall health.
When you take a look at the most successful people in the work industry today, everything revolves around creativity. You know, the next Steve Jobs of tomorrow has to be able to have a basic understanding of visual arts and designs in order to create the technology that he created.
Of course, they're learning the plumbing of putting in the bathtub, putting in the sink, putting in the pipes and the toilet, but they're also learning how to pick tiles, design the tiles, grout the tiles, put them down. There's going to be, when it's finished, there'll be wallpaper over here. They're going to learn how to make a closet.
The first thing that I think about in the middle of the night when I wake up is, are the kids safe? Then we can worry about their education. Then we can worry about the teachers good, are they prepared? Do we have the lunch program together? Do we have the after schools all in place? Because safety and security is the prime objective that we have to provide for our kids.
Our gate that surrounds Yeshiva is a very, very protective and secure gate to ensure the safety of our boys. That has been given from government funding.
So what kind of things have you done with the security funding?
Okay, so if you look right over here, you'll see beautiful, beautiful new lighting that we put in camp, literally throughout the whole camp. And what's amazing as well is you don't see any wires because all the wiring is underground.
So thanks to the security grant that we got, we were able for the first time to have a full-time 24-hour armed guard by our front gate.
We are looking forward to be working with Teach Coalition and the OU for many years to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome two champions on Jewish education, Senator Todd Kaminsky and Assemblywoman Stacey Pfeffer Amato.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Great to see you, Senator Mayor. Thanks for being here. Hi, Assemblywoman. How are you?
Good, good. Hi, Senator. How are you?
Good. Big
Senator
shout
Mayor,
out to
good to see you.
Big shout out to the 5 towns and West Hempstead. Maury, thank you for having us. Maury, were you at Camp Kaylee just before?
Yeah, I'm just flying around all over the country.
That's awesome. I just want to quickly say that the efforts over the past few years that you have made have really made a difference. There is nothing else like this. There is no group of hundreds of people who come to Albany to ask that, for a better education. And your advocacy has resulted in record funding that is going to continue. And the results have been astonishing. I see it in the schools in my district. I see it in the children who graduate to go on to our best universities. You are more prepared for the 21st century workplace. And we're so proud to have been a part of that. But this is not something from the top down. This came from the bottom up. It came from your advocacy, your leadership, and I hope you see the results. This is a great experiment in democracy that you and your, I guess, older brothers and sisters and your school administrators have demonstrated over these last few years that when you've got a good argument to make and you won't back down and you don't take no for an answer, you can achieve great results, especially when you really put your back into it, put in the work. And of course, in other years when it was possible, come up here. I remember that very viscerally, being in the Egg Auditorium with your wonderful school. So please keep it up. We're going to do our part. And it's been so great to work with you and see the results that we've been able to achieve.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. I don't know, Senator Kaminsky, when everyone else got on, Senator Mayor, Gianaris, I heard a lot of loud screaming and yelling for folks that really want more money. I don't hear anybody out there. Are they sleeping? Oh, woo-hoo! I If you're going to get on and meet elected officials and you want to ask for $90 million, I expect some screaming and yelling. You guys are going to be so, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be so impactful today when you meet the legislators and let them know how important your education is, how important STEM funding is. Folks like me and Senator Kaminsky, we know of your work, but not everybody's so familiar. I know my schools from Far Rockaway are on, and even the 5 towns, my neighboring community, which I support, but throughout New York State. So you have to bring forward all the passion that you have about STEM, knowing that you have security in your school, that we go to schools, and that money is provided from our tax dollars, because it is real out there what's going on. And I want to make sure, from your parents' sake, that you go to school and come back home exactly the way we delivered you. And as two parents, Senator and I can speak for that. That's what first, number one, is safety. But when you get into those doors of your school, we want you to be enriched. I want you to dive into visual arts. I want you to learn about science, learn about visual arts, learn about computers, everything that you can to expand your minds, just to blow up, right? I want you to be so filled when you get home that you're exhausted and you probably don't even talk to your parents. But that's what it's about. School should be rewarding, it should be fun, and certainly educational. So I'm so honored to continue this advocacy and fight for school funding like STEM. But Maury, when you bring it big. And I want to give a shout out to your whole organization, because there's nothing like Teach New York.
Yep.
What we've seen, the amount of people, the participation, this is 6 pages long, and I'm tired of Zoom, let me tell you, but I feel your energy. And that's what I need you to bring to every elected official that you meet today, to talk about your passion. It's the first step of advocacy, because it's not going to end. Right now, you're doing it on a high school level, middle school level, but advocacy never ends, because you'll become young adults in college or in fields of employment, then move on. We always have to stand up for what's important to us and what we're passionate about. And I want to thank Teach New York State for teaching you about advocacy and have that passion to stand up for what matters. And I'm always here for you. You know I'm always your partner, and look forward to more good work that we're going to do in this budget and future budgets ahead of us. So thanks, everybody.
Maury, I just want to hope everybody here knows how great Maury is and what great work he does and how much respect he has up here. I see Cal Nathan and Lance Hurt are on. Thank you for your friendship, and go blue, Cal. And I want to give a special shout out to Eden Matrani, who is my co-star in the 1994 Long Beach High School production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Thanks. Nice to see you, Todd.
Thank you both so much, and thank you for your leadership on our issues. It is so greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome State Senator Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Hey, great to see you all, and great to hear you all. I want to thank my dear friend, Assemblywoman Stacey Pfeffer Amato, for getting everybody warmed up, and my dear friend, Senator Todd Kaminsky. I think he's still on here, but it's his birthday tomorrow, everybody. It's Senator Kaminsky's birthday tomorrow. My great friends and extraordinary advocates from Teach NYS. I see Maury, I see Cal, Nathan, Lance, Hunt. It's so good to see you all. Thank you for your advocacy. Thank you for your friendship, for your support, for your leadership, quite frankly. Without you, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And I got to tell you, kids, it's all about you. And that's what we do. It's why we do what we do. We're fighting to make sure that you have the resources so that when you go to and from school, that you have the best possible education. And the folks over at Teach NYS and the OU are on the front lines making that happen. I also see my dear friend, Senator Shelly Mayer, who is the chairwoman of the Education Committee here in the State Senate. She is a powerful woman and a very strong voice for all of us here that care about education. So thank you, Senator Mayer, as well. Of course, my leader in the Senate, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and I hear Mike Gianaris made an appearance. It's just so good to see everybody here this morning. We're working together to make things happen and great things happen. And to see all these students, I got to tell you, I'm inspired by you, students. Just so you know, the fact that you're all here, the fact that you're engaged, you're paying attention to what's going on, not only in your school, but in your community, it's really important. And it helps people like myself and my colleagues in the Senate and the legislature and the governor and these awesome leaders that are working with Teach NYS and the OU to make decisions together for you. So I'm the father of 3 kids. They're all in school right now. I'm the brother of a teacher. I'm the son of a teacher, the grandson of a teacher. So I understand the impact that teachers and education have on our community, and making sure that our kids all have the resources, are well-rounded, and, you know, especially having educators that are outstanding here in New York. I want to thank all of the teachers that really work day and night to help our students. Can we give the teachers here in New York State a round of applause? And a lot of the things. Thank you. Yeah. And, you know, as has already been mentioned, you know, we're fighting for STEM education funding, and not only keeping STEM education funding, but enhancing STEM education funding, get more funding in the budget. We also want to make sure that every child has a proper chance to get their entire education taken care of. That includes physical education. So we have to learn about healthy habits, and we have to make sure that every one of us has the knowledge from school to take care of ourselves for a healthy well-being. And so myself and my colleagues are pushing for an extra $5 million in phys ed funding for your schools to support phys ed programming, because every single child, every single student should have access to the tools that create active and healthy lifestyles. So we know that important habits start at an early age. We know that physical health is part of those important habits. The budget negotiations are just beginning. We got a lot to fight for, and a lot to fight for with you. So thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to continue to work with my colleagues and work with you to make sure we do everything that we can to deliver for our schools all across the state. And you know that you have me in your corner. So thanks for making me a part of this here today.
Thank you so much, Senator. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome State Senator Andrew Gianaris.
What is his name?
It is always dangerous to follow Tim Kennedy behind a microphone, because he always says everything you want to say, and he says it a lot better than you ever can hope to say it. But I'm going to try my best. It is great to be here with you all. I want to echo what Senator Kaminsky said. I'm sad that we can't be doing this in person. I remember fondly when we were all in the convention center in the Egg together on stage and rallying in support of this vital funding that we know how important it is for all of your schools. I know I saw on the Zoom screen pop up. I know I saw Megan David pop up. I know I saw Yeshiva Flatbush pop up, schools in my district. Thank you guys for being here. You know, this is, as Senator Kennedy said, we are in the final throes now of the budget negotiations. And this is where we have to work really, really hard to make sure that we get our priorities across the finish line. And this clearly funding for our STEM programs, funding for our physical education, funding for school security, you know, those are priorities that I know many of us in the legislature care deeply about, because you care deeply about it. And because you have made it a priority, and you have worked very hard to communicate to your government, to the people in your government, about how important this is for you, your school communities, and the neighborhoods that you live in. That's why we are here doing this. But this advocacy, this work would not happen without your advocacy. So don't take it for granted that the mere fact that it's a good idea means it'll get done. It will not get done unless you are here, like you are, pushing us and prodding us and showing us just how much groundswell support there is. And this could not be a more important time to be talking about these issues, whether we're talking about how are we rebuilding out of this pandemic and reimagining our education system, and how are we preparing ourselves for the jobs of the second half of the 21st century with a robust STEM funding, or whether we're talking about security in our schools. We know that in the last year, according to the NYPD, there have been increases in nearly 300% in anti-Semitic attacks. That sends a chilling effect amongst people across multiple communities, whether it's a hate crime against the Jewish community or Asian brothers or sisters. You know, this trend is troubling to all of us. And we know one of the best ways to protect ourselves is to have funding for security. So it's great that we are here calling for this. It's great that you are here calling for this. I know we have some meetings scheduled later on today with some local constituents. This is a great organization. I really want to thank the advocacy of Teach NYS, of OU, for bringing everybody together from every corner of the state Because really it's not just about one neighborhood, it's not just about one school, it's about everyone together. That's how you build a coalition. That's how we get things done. And that's how we're going to get this done in the next 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Senator. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special short presentation. Please welcome Teach NYS activist and network member, Rachel Spinner.
Hello. Can you hear me okay? Everything's good? Yeah. Awesome. Shout out to North Shore Hebrew Academy, where I am a parent. Let's hear it, North Shore. Hello, my name is Rachel Spinner. Hi, guys. I am a day school parent and Teach NYS network member. I'm so excited to be here today to speak about issues. There we go. To speak about issues affecting Jewish education, but regardless of what issue you choose to advocate for, if you're seeking political change, you must learn how to lobby effectively. Lobbying seems like a big word, but it's not that intimidating, and it's something all of you will be doing today. So, as you've heard throughout the morning, Teach NYS was created in order to change the dialogue. No longer will we be without a voice. The issue of tuition affordability is an issue that we must take seriously. And to see real change, we have to take real steps. Thanks to our work over the past 9 years, Teach NYS, the past 9 years, and thanks to the activism by your schools, your parents, and your rabbis, we have real relationships with members of the New York State Senate and New York State Assembly. But it takes a lot of time and effort to effectively cultivate those relationships. And with our elected officials, we're making a lot of progress. That's what we're doing here today. We're here to show our elected officials that we still care and that we're still watching and that we appreciate their support. Now, to help us get our feet wet with the process, I'd like to welcome Assembly Member and my friend, Assemblywoman Gianaris to role play on how a legislative meeting might go. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. So this is my first time doing this.
Likewise.
Well, we're new together.
Great.
And so I'm super excited to be with you guys. And then also, shout out to Long Island, shout out to, of course, my friends at North Shore Hebrew Academy. I see them cheering, it's awesome. There they are. Hi,
kids. Hi, guys. So very just a quick introduction with Miss Liddy. Assemblywoman Shelly represents New York's 16th Assembly District, which encompasses the neighborhoods of Port Washington, Manhasset, Great Neck, North Hills, East Hills, Flower Hill, Old Westbury, Roslyn Estates, Roslyn Heights, Herricks, and Lake Success of Nassau County on Long Island. On or in, I never know. But born and raised on Long Island, Gianaris has a proven record of public service and will use her government experience to deliver results for the people of the 16th Assembly District. Gina is a first-time elected official, as we just heard, having won her first election in November of 2020 and is already a great friend to the Jewish community. Thank you very much. Assemblywoman, thank you so much for joining us today. Are we ready to?
I'm so happy to be here.
Rapid fire questions?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. Earlier this year, we visited North Shore Hebrew Academy together, and it was one of your first visits to a school in person. What was your takeaway from that visit?
So, first of all, I was so excited to be in person and see people all together. Well, first, right off the gate, you guys had food, which great first step just for everybody who's lobbying.
Children need to be fed.
Yeah. No, it was such a, North Shore Hebrew Academy, it's such an incredible school. And I had never been to a school like yours. And I loved how hands-on everybody was, like the parents, the educators, and the students. You kind of all work collaboratively together. The student population was diverse. And the emphasis on science and STEM, you guys, blew me away. We went into with the little kids, and it was even over my head, and they were like 5 years old, and it was awesome. And I was looking at them like, they're going to create something incredible, and I'm here to witness the start of it. And it was awesome. I had such a good time with everybody, and you were so welcoming and kind. So it was a great experience.
Awesome. So you work behind the scenes in the political offices for a while now. Can you tell us how effective citizen lobbyists are to getting things accomplished, to getting things done? How effective is it for us to be in touch?
Sure. I mean, so I've been in various government levels. Anybody from Long Island knows there's a whole lot of levels of government on Long Island. And the lobbying, especially from young people, is incredibly effective. But what one of the other speakers had spoke about was consistency and not stopping and continuing. You know, you have these initial conversations, but not for nothing, we're very, very, you know, there's a lot going on. We have a lot of people talking to us all at once, and follow up is the key to success. And also another thing that always gets to me, and maybe because I take things very personally, is having those personal touches, those stories. So like if you're advocating for a particular issue, but if you can somehow connect something that's happened in your personal life or something that's happened in your family, that getting more money or getting this program adopted or whatever it is, you can make that connection. It makes such a difference. And we remember that because people like to be told, you know, we're human beings. We like stories. And we connect more to stories. You know, ever think about when you were younger and you had to remember like your home address, you sang a song, you know, you kind of think of it that way. You have to have something to connect the issue, and making it personal resonates to me. And so that's what makes a difference, is those personal touches.
Amazing. Amazing. So we're just going to role play just a couple of questions of how a visit might go with your elected official. If we can just dive right in.
Sure, let's do it.
Just a couple of questions. Okay. As a parent, I'm personally very concerned with the quality and cost of education for my children. And all we want for them is the best, and knowing that they have access to the best and brightest teachers is a priority of mine, and as it should be for every parent. However, I do choose to educate my children in a non-public school due to my religious beliefs, and the cost is crippling. Choosing to educate my child in a religious school actually benefits New York State, as non-public schools contribute over $11 billion to the New York State economy. And I know you are aware of all these points, and I just want to thank you so much for understanding that.
Thank you. You're very welcome. And if you notice what Rachel did, she talked about her points, but she also tied it into me. And there was a compliment there. Thank you so much. But you know, I do understand what Rachel was talking about, so that she made that her pitch, and then also made that connection to me.
So one more. I know you're familiar with the historic STEM bill that was passed in 2017, which allowed schools to receive reimbursements from the New York State for qualified STEM teachers. And this was a huge step in the right direction, and has already begun to drastically help schools in our community and our district. So thank you very much for this support, for your continued support of this bill, if that's possible.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
And we are here today to ask you to continue supporting this bill, and to consider speaking to your colleagues about the importance of supporting education for all students in all schools. And we hope to see this program funded at $90 million, as that is the amount that will fully fund the program. At the moment, the program is not yet, growth mindset is not yet fully funded, and schools are only receiving a fraction of what they apply for and what they need.
Right. So at this point, what likely will happen is the person that you're lobbying on the other end will talk to you about what's happening this year, which is what I'm going to do. I know on my end, I'm in the New York State Assembly, and the Assembly is certainly providing, which is incredible, an increase in the non-public STEM funding, $23 million more than last year. Obviously, you guys are in the thick of things right now. You know, they're negotiating the budget, you know, the Senate, the Assembly, the governor, everybody's coming together and they're figuring out what they need to do. So what you guys are doing today is going to be very beneficial to those negotiations going forward. So, you know, with their answer, whatever they say, you just reiterate the importance of it, and maybe say what you have going on in your school about how the importance of that funding and what kind of programs you have that you find beneficial.
Very helpful. I want to thank, again, switching topics, STEM funding to security funding for our schools. I want to thank you for your support of an increase to school security funding. Right now, the conversation is a very hot topic, but unfortunately, violence and threats are something the Jewish community is very familiar with. Since anti-Semitism is an unfortunate reality, we rely on the funding that the government provides to help keep our schools safe. Safe schools equals safe districts, which equal investment, residence, and leisure. We appreciate you keeping all students in all schools safe and hope you will continue to vote in favor of an increased school security funding.
Yes, of course. And obviously, I think Rabbi Coburn said it before, the first priority is, the safety of the students. And that's paramount because, you guys need to be able to learn and be at school in a safe environment and not have to worry about anything going on the outside. So that's a priority, I know, for me and many others.
So this is where we would end the conversation with our elected officials. Thank them for their time. Offer to follow up with an email or a phone call. And if you're going as a group of students, a collective note signed by everybody, any kind of artwork, any kind of impression.
Love that.
Both parties just eat it up. So I encourage the follow up.
We do.
Best of luck to you, Miss Aleti.
Oh, thank you. And good luck, students. I know you're going to do wonderful.
Thank you both so much. Thank you, Assemblywoman Aleti. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you both for teaching us how to lobby effectively. And soon, right now, we are going to start. So thank you again to all of our distinguished speakers. It's a true honor to see such important individuals who make decisions on our behalf, be so dedicated to our mission and what we're doing today. So if you haven't already, please make sure to rename your box and your Zoom to your school name so that we can get you into the right breakout rooms. We're so glad you could be with all here today. So let's get lobbying. We're going to be going into breakout rooms now, and please be patient for the next few minutes as we get you into your correct breakout rooms. And again, please make sure that you rename your Zoom box to your school name, either middle school for MS or high school for high school. And we'll see everyone back at 1 for our keynote speaker, Governor Kathy Hochul. We'll see you soon. Good luck.